Jack, we're here with our first Dragon Ball profile. Today we've got Cody. What'd you do?
I played Prison today. I played the boy. He's a little homie right here, and on his backside, he turns into plankton. Everybody knows
too strong.
Everybody knows what Prison does. I think on his front side, you can just top 5 check for any extra card, and his backside, well, red extra card specifically. So it can be either red, blue, red, green. I don't think there are any red, green extra cards, but you can grab any red extra card.
I think there's one.
There might be. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Me neither.
But on the backside, you have.
It's one of those Broly red green things.
Oh yeah, we don't. That card's bad.
It does not exist.
Something torment. It's bad.
Yes.
On the backside, you have draw 1, activate main. You can just do that. Just free draw 1. It doesn't have to attack, which is fantastic. And then you can ditch any red Frieza army to negate an attack. So that's an auto. So you can go past things like, oh yeah, no negates, and you just discard a Frieza army and negate the attack anyways, and they'll feel really silly. He's also a draw 2 leader, so sometimes your hand gets really fat, and there's a little loop in this deck you can kind of do to get a really fat hand.
All right. So let's take a look here.
All right, so we played extra cards. We played lots of extra cards. I'll start off with the only ones that the leader can't grab. We got 4 Whis. Shouts to my boy John. This is kind of a side project. I've seen him playing it on Android's channel. Shouts to them. And I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and modify this list a little bit and see how it goes. And of course, we played 4 Bean. I only have 1 Champ Bean. I'm pretty pleb, sorry.
It's okay, we forgive you.
Then we go into the red package. There's a little bit of differences in this deck. Like, I still play the 2 Denial. I think 2 Denial is still needed. I literally didn't use it once. I still wouldn't cut it from the deck. I just side it out in matchups. I don't need it. It's too important. It can steal too many games. 1 of combination attack. This is literally didn't use this either, but it's at least red-blue, so you can use it for your win con.
All right.
Triple Combos Awakening. We don't play super combos in this deck. Can't play super combos in this deck, so we
have to be 4 cost or higher.
Yeah, so this is literally our only way to have like a 10k bump. Basically, is a super combo right here, which isn't even a super combo, but hey, it's searchable, so plus. Then we go into the actual best card in like probably the game right now, Tyranny's Cost. So like the thing that makes this card insane with this leader is you search it for 1, 2, it goes into your win con, and 3, you actually have a card that just gets it back from the drop after you've used it, allowing you to use this thing way more than 4 times in a game. I know that Surge Coup can do that as well, but they also have to use like one of their 2 use effects to do that, and it's pretty hefty on them to do that over and over again, but yeah, we definitely do that. Then we go into just the good stuffs. 2 Emperor's Death Beams. I tried 3 when I was playtesting a little bit last night. I definitely didn't like 3. 2 felt good, mainly because if you see 1 and it's a matchup you need it, like for example game 1 against Invoker, you can just keep re-adding them back with Loyal Kakono, giving you effectively 6 copies of Outs to Vegeta, which is fantastic in the main board. 2 copies of Is That All You Got? This literally single-handedly made Boo unplayable. Like, this broke them.
Alright, your Boo's got 0 to the drop.
I searched this one time, had 1 copy of it all game, used it like 3 times off 1 copy because of Loyal Kakono. So this card's insane, and it just shuts the entire deck down. And this card put in more work than I ever thought it would. 4 copies of Instinctive Reprisal. This card is bonkers. Pick it up now. Like, actually buy these now. A negate that neg-tens 2 things, including a leader, makes this great against Gohan, Boo, any aggro deck literally folds to this card. Baby, like aggro decks just straight fold to this card single-handedly. I think that this card is like one of the main reasons why our boy Plankton's playable.
Just play it twice. It's all right, you are 5,000 triple strike. Come on.
2 Afterimage. Again, if you need to awaken, you can actually just grab these back with Loyal Kakono and just afterimage random attacks on their turn. You can also just go ahead and use them. It's good to have Sparking Negates in this deck. That's really it. It's not as good as it used to be. And then like another good card for this leader, Paralysis Technique. It's basically locked to this leader or any of the other red Frieza leaders. To be fair, there's only like 1 other good Frieza leader that's red. But yeah, you definitely play this. Neg 5s, everything on their board, including the leader. So mixing this with Instinctive Reprisal turns Gohan into a 0 power leader very quickly, and then you can completely ruin their entire game plan. And that's literally all the extra cards in the deck. We played, I think, well over 20 extra cards. This is the stack of extra cards, people. This is the stack of extra cards. Here are the battle cards, just so you have a comparison. So for battle cards, we of course played the Kakono line for Loyal, because he's like. He is our actual super combo. 1 energy, 10k, grab any red extra card, can be a red-blue, can be red plus anything, just grab a red extra card. You have a lot of very good red extra cards. and you want to reuse them as much as possible. This also is like literally our only good combo power in the deck, so we definitely have to play it at 4. 2 Fledgling. This card never came up. Probably gonna cut it. It's bad.
What does it do?
Yeah, I don't know.
I cut that from all my lists.
I'm kidding. It actually just like you discard a card and neg 5 something. It's a pretty awful card, honestly.
Wow.
I legitimately think the only reason it's being played is because it's a 5K combo.
You can make your 6-drop go even more ham. Discard more extra cards, but that's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing I can think of with this card is you can use it to like ditch dead extra cards in your hand, but you realistically should be using those.
All right.
And of course, the boy, you don't play 4 in this deck, you bad. I'm sorry if you're poor and you can't afford these. I'm poor too.
Ouch.
Yeah, sorry. You definitely play this if you play Prison. You play it at 4 if you play Prison. You play it at 4 basically if you play any control deck that plays red.
It's just big old fat no boy.
Yeah, dude. And then we
The
play
Pillsbury no
and
boy.
here's the pile of sad for people who are actually really poor. Double expensive cards. So WI, you need this to out cards like I'll just go ahead and show it. The secret rare. You have to have this to out this card. There's no other way in the entire archetype or color to stop this from hitting the board and ending your life. You need it to out things like our win con secrets. I'll show you in a second. And then you need to out things like big invoker plays. It's actually the only card that we have in the deck to do that. And this is of course for stopping wide decks. And these are all 5K combos. And unfortunately we're so stacked on combo power that we actually need these. And then the actual win con of the deck, and I swear I won every single game today off this card, was this boy. This card is actually snapped. They should have never made this. It is actually literally the most pressure you can get in the game off of one card ever printed. Like Victory Strike is actually less pressure than this. Because you need only one card basically to out Victory Strike. You need a very specific series of cards to stop this. So what this card does is
Mafuba.
yeah, you have to basically Mafuba it. So essentially, every time it swings, it has an activate main. So after you've attacked with it, it's first it's a Fleck Triple Strike, which is already insane. And it's 35, so it gets around a lot of stuff. So in the mirror match, I call Invoker the mirror match because it's basically the same thing. This you try to bait them into like you play around all their stuff, or as soon as you see them run out of Emperor's Death Beams or use an Emperor's Death Beam poorly, you drop this and close the game with it instantly. Every single time you attack with it, while it's in rest, you can use its activate main. Remove two red, blue, specifically extra cards from either your hand or your drop area from the game. We see way more than Invoker does.
So it has to be a red and blue.
It has to be a red and blue.
All right, so you've got to remove 2 red blues. So 2 Tyranny's cost, 2 Death Beams.
Yep,
All right.
and they can be 2 of either. You can like mix and match, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then he switches back to active mode. This isn't once per turn.
No, it is not.
And you neg 5 their leader for the whole turn. So like literally, if this card alone isn't going to kill them, even if this card just puts them to 1, your leader is going to kill them because they'll have no power and no hand to deal with this thing. This card is absolutely snapped. I don't really know what else to say. I won 1 game off milling a guy out with this. So I mean, it's probably the best secret rare for this deck. I would probably play it. I am going to keep playing it in this deck. You could play Army Reborn, but
I mean, but you got 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, 2 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda. Why would you play anything else?
I really like Chipotle. That's
Fair
why.
enough.
So, and then I'll go into the side. I did use the side a lot today.
All right.
It mattered. A couple times. As a matter of fact, there's probably a bunch of changes I'm making to the side after this. Give me just a second. Okay, so I did not organize this. Apologies. We start with triple cease to exist. We don't like Vegeta. We really don't like Vegeta. I know we already main board like 6 ways to kill him. How do you really make him hate life? You main board like 12 ways to kill him. So there you go.
Yeah.
You just make sure Vegeta doesn't exist. Bam,
Exactly.
cease to exist.
He ceases.
This
Cease,
also helps
desist,
with
absorb.
aggro.
Yes, yes it does.
Then we played my favorite line in the deck, and I honestly am going to change this. These might actually make their way into the main. Triple Frieza, no introductions, and he needs no introductions because what he does is he drops this boy. Oh, I almost played him. He drops this boy, and what this boy does, if you play this on turn 2, like if you negate on turn 2 with this, and this is in your hand, your opponent's like put on the biggest clock of their life. I literally made a Surge Goku player in the my last round have to give up literally everything in his hand to not take this because he did not want to he didn't want to get triple struck down to 2 life. So he opted to just go ahead and like surge and then combo out like everything to stop this swing because he didn't have a way to remove it. So it was either take the hit, maybe get a way to remove it, and then for sure die to it next turn, or get no way to remove it and it killed his Vegeta too, because he decided to play Vegeta on 3, and that's a big oof. This card also literally kills Vegeta, so if you really hate Vegeta, you
really hate Vegeta.
I also swung with this once, and I milled 2 of his Gogetas in game 2.
Ow.
So that was fantastic.
2 Gogeta 7s?
In game 2, I mean, yeah. So in game 2, he sided into Gogeta 7s, and I swung with this while he had a Crown and a Vegeta on the board, and he milled 2 of them. So I think it was all of his Gogeta 7s instantly. And then we, of course, have the good side for aggro, Bop. Live to fight another day. Now, people know what this card does, and I'm about to tell you, because this card is a thing of beauty when it goes off. Do you know what this card does?
I don't know what this card does.
So, if you and your opponent have 3 energy, you can play this. You can't play it unless you do. You draw a card. So you draw a card, not your opponent. And then for the remainder of your and your opponent's turn, if they were to play a battle card that has 20k power or less, as an additional cost, they have to discard 3 cards. And that's that's just permanent. So what you do against aggro decks is you clear their board out with like Cease to Exist, and then you start playing this and adding it back with Loyal Kokono every turn. So they have to sit under. That's why it's called Prison, because you put them underneath a lock.
Ugh.
And then the other sideboard stuff was just a side into the actual prison pieces. They never came up. I definitely would still always play them, because the decks where this thing can actually not just instantly die to like an Emperor's Death Beam, he outright wins the game. You probably don't know what these do, because they're like this is like a bad run, it's like a 10-cent SR, so I'll explain them. This guy, he gets his cost reduced for each red extra card in your drop. It can be red, blue, it doesn't matter. He'll get two cost reductions based on how many you have, so he'll eventually become a 5-drop. And when you play him, he literally chooses every single battle card on both players' battle areas with 25k or less power, ignoring barrier, and just yeets them. They're just dead. They're just gone. And then for basically just discard 3, no energy cost. You evolve this on top of this and active. So this thing will swing for double strike to give them some cards, and you'll go ahead and evolve into this. And now they're under this guy's lock, and this guy has a really, really horrifying effect if you can't remove him. If you're at 4 life and you have no out to this card, you lose the game. So what he reads is, in order for your opponent to play a battle card with less than 40k power, they must crit themselves for 4. So, yeah, so what you'll do is you'll put people under the...
Does he play on any 5-drop Frieza, or only that one?
Only the Frieza BR, so it can only be this one so far. Because if that was the case, trust me, he would not be a 10-cent card. But yeah.
So maybe pick them up.
I'd probably consider getting them, because like future-proof, this card's not very future-proof. We're on like the complete mercy of them releasing good Frieza BRs, and as soon as they do, big trouble, because this card's really good. I did not come up today. I kind of was only because I didn't play against any aggro matchups that really made me want to play them. You drop this against aggro, and they just kind of crumble and die. It's pretty sad.
Now, you were saying earlier you took someone's Invoker. How did you...
Oh, yeah, so the last card, the Hidden Boy, is Barry Blue the Negotiator. So what you do is you play this, and ignoring barrier, 25k or less power, you just take their card. So I played this, and I took an Invoker Vegeta, and this was actually the best thing ever. And then I was like, oh, I'm the Invoker now. So, and you've seen how many red-blue extra cards I play. Now I'm playing them for 1. And when you have a deck that can basically double Tyranny's cost for 3, that's a problem, because I can play with the same Tyrannies, swing with my leader, swing for 20 with Kokono, add the Tyrannies back, replay the Tyrannies. And most Invoker decks don't play outs to their own Vegeta. So you kind of sit there with Invoker, and they kind of just sit there and lose.
Oh my god.
This card's also bad. I'm definitely cutting it, but boy, just the meme alone makes me want to just play it as the cheeky 1-of.
I would keep it at the 1 personally. All right, you got any shout outs you want to throw out?
Shouts to Eggman, that's my boy, Deb. Shouts to Android. Shouts to Heroes and Games. We had a good turnout today. Pretty good tournament. I came 3rd, so I didn't win, but I did get my bye. I didn't lose, so I had a draw. I was undefeated and then had a draw against Invoker. That was pretty sad. And basically, we got to time, and there wasn't enough time to play Prison versus Invoker, a 3rd game, so we had to just tie. We had to tie. It was big sad.
All right, well, thank you for your profile, and hopefully we'll see more of you on the channel.
Maybe.